All right, that was Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. I think that the truth of the matter is in America, mass shootings are so prevalent and so frequent, we should change our flag from the stars and stripes to God's. Our national anthem should now officially be a siren, because invariably, every time you turn around, there is some disaffected young white guy that grabs a gun that he shouldn't have access to and proceeds to slaughter innocent people. Case in point, Highland Park. Now, the young monster who did these heinous crimes, he was on every conceivable social media platform, everyone. And everyone, he would make these horrifying posts talking about mass destruction and mass death. Everyone. There could not have been any more red flags. And Chicago, Illinois specifically, has red flag laws. His father was one when he was 19 years old that helped him facilitate, that co-signed for him getting a gun. I think we need to change our laws, much like what happened in Oxford, Michigan. That father, to me, should have some culpability. Now, obviously, that may not be criminal, but if I think those parents would be well within their rights to sue the shit out of them. You set your monster on the world. You let your creature that you created, you set him free on the world. And what is the point of having these laws? First off, what is the point of having a young man that literally can't even rent a car? He's too young to rent a car, having a weapon with that much lethality. Even a recent poll in Texas talked about how Texas wanted stricter gun laws. We are tired of watching the slaughter of innocents at the hands of nincompoops. They get to, and the real problem is that although social media is inundated with young men like this, parents often don't know whether they're serious or not. It's so many of these people that are like this, you can't tell if they're serious or not. That's the problem, because there's so many people in these white nationalist groups. There's so many people in these, and all of them. Listen, I'm not going to say that everybody who goes to a Trump rally is racist, but a lot of racists go to Trump rallies. I'll say that. And almost there's an invariable connection. They swim in the same ecosystem. They do the same things. And if we're going to be serious about ourselves, you have to recognize that this would not happen if it were another community. If it were young Muslim men plotting this and stuff like this on the internet, they would violate all their rights to get an inroad to this. If it were young black men doing this, they would violate their rights. What do you think stop and frisk is? It's a violation of rights. What do you think the things that they would do? You literally think that they would let young black men or young Muslim men or young Latin men pose this type of threat to society at large, be all open on social media and do nothing? They wouldn't. They didn't care. Stop and frisk, they stopped over 1 million people and made only 4,000 arrests. That was an infringement on their rights because they felt like they were doing what they had to do to make that city safer. The country needs to be safe from these young savages, these sons that you're raising, and loosing them upon the world. The same things you would do, you have to recognize the same things you would do if they look like us. You got to recognize that you got to do those things when they look like you. Take them seriously, and damn sure don't go buy a monster a gun. I don't understand how this keeps happening. And it keeps happening because they refuse to recognize that the monster that they are looking for is in their bedrooms. It's at their dinner tables. It's in their carpool loans. You're dropping them off at soccer practice. You can't tell me, and we have these romantic notions of this. The mayor of Highland Park, I remember him as a Boy Scout. Something was wrong with that boy for a very long time. If it was a black kid, you'd be asking me what happened to the parents or how that neighborhood failed him. And we're all a village. And if you see something, say something. What about you? What is the point of having red flag laws if you refuse to recognize those dangers when they're attached to a redneck? That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report come up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.